Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the J's Down podcast. I'm your host, Jaden, and today I have Coach Jonathan Gess. He's the head coach at Hebron Christian Academy. Coach, thank you for joining us again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Excited that you would ask me to come back on your show.
Of course. Yeah, always, Coach. So, yeah, Coach, thank you for joining us again. And you guys had another season. You finished your second season at Hebron. It's crazy, right? You know, it's almost like It's like you just left, and now you're already wrapping up your second season there. So, could you kind of talk about it, sum it up, and how did it go for you guys?
Yeah, so, it was a really good year. Like you said, it was my second year at Hebron this year. And, so we just been building the program, right? 2 years ago in March, I came here. We got the kids in the weight room. We tried to get, everybody to buy in. Really kind of our word that we use is work. Let's just go to work. It's real simple, but we got to work hard every single day, get better. And everybody bought into it, so it was really good. We had a good year one in 2022. And then, headed into last year, had a really good 2023 as well. Ended up, started off the year 3-0. Everything's going great. And then we had some injuries, specifically to our quarterback spot, and kind of had some really tough games. And we ended up having a period of 4 games where we lost. We lost to Benedictine, then we lost to Morgan County, then we lost to Coney, and then we lost to is my phone messing up? You want to start over?
No. I can hear you. You're good.
Oh, sounds like something's messing up.
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay. But yeah, so anyways, we lose Morgan County, lose the Benedictine, lose the Monroe area, lose the Coney, and they're all close games, all battles, but we're losing. And so we got to figure something out. Had 3 games left. We got to win every game that's left to make the playoffs. So backs up against the wall, and we made some changes. And we came out and had a bye week, and then we come out and we rolled. Ended up the season. We ended up beating Franklin, then we beat Hart, and then we had a huge game versus undefeated Stevens County. They were ranked number 2 at the time in the state. They came to us, and man, we just got all over them. We beat them. I think it was like 34-7 or something like that. Then maybe 34-3. I don't think they scored a touchdown. And then due to the fact that we lost the games in the regular season, our seeding was bad in the playoffs. So we get matched up with Cedar Grove, the AAA powerhouse, but we went down to Cedar Grove. They beat us 30-27, but we gave them all they could handle. And I like to believe that they won the AAA state championship, but I like to believe that we beat them, but they had the final score. They blocked a touchdown. They returned a pick 6. And the refs, we scored a touchdown, but the refs miraculously saw a block in the back penalty. I didn't even see any of our offensive linemen block, much less in the back. And they called block in the back. Touchdown gets called back. So long story short, we had 470 yards of offense to their 320. We lose. We're done. But our boys came back believing more than they ever have. And we have hit the ground running ever since the end of that game. So let's say it's November 13th. Our boys have been in the weight room getting after it ever since that. And so we're super excited about 2024.
Yeah. So talk about some of those guys, Coach, that, stepped up for y'all this year and that impressed you and the coaching staff that, you saw take a leap, and they were crucial to why you guys had the season you had.
Yeah, so, since I'm already into 2024 and we're thinking 2024, I'll kind of mention the kids that really stepped up from the class of 2025. And the first guy that I think about is our defensive lineman, Sean John. He's 6'3", 290 pounds, and he's an absolute beast. I just love the work ethic that he brings every single day. I love the passion that he plays with every single day, and he just loves it. He loves football, and man, really just a great guy to build your football program around. And then, you know, there's many others, but Jarrett Kemp's a kid that's getting offered by everybody. Defensive back, wide receiver, 6'3", 180. Man, love the way that not only is he getting the offers, but he also is doing the work, right? Being a leader for his high school football team. And then also really like Carrington Coombs. He's another kid, 6'3", 220, outside linebacker, DN. You know, could play wide receiver as well. He's getting recruited. Same thing, right? I always say this: your most highly touted kids and your kids that get recruited the most, they have to be your hardest workers. They have to be your leaders. And we have to demand that from them. They're doing a phenomenal job. And then, you know, there's some other guys that aren't getting as recruited as heavily right now, but Nick Wade, our starting linebacker, Adam Cannon, going to be our leader on our offensive line next year, 6'4", 280 pounds. KJ Thomas, he's a safety. He's a corner DB, can play slot, athlete. He's doing a phenomenal job. And then, you know, we have Tyson Craig. He's a safety. We have Adrian Hollishead coming back as a running back. We're excited about him. Listen, I'm missing a lot, right? But we're super excited about the future. And I got a great 26 class as well. So super excited.
Coach, that's awesome. It feels like it's only been, 4 years? And it feels like, you know, like I've been out of high school like forever, but it's only been 4 years. That's crazy.
The crazy thing is I meet people, and so you're now what? If it's been 4 years, you're 22?
20. I was I didn't turn 18 until after graduation.
Oh goodness. So I always look at people as the same age. You know, I can meet somebody that's 30 years old, and I remember them as 17. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're 30? Like I talked to Coach Collier the other day, and I remember Coach Collier coming to coach with me when he was 28. So I still think he's 28, but he's 35. I was like, wow. So it's funny, man. Time stands still, but it doesn't.
Yeah, right. So talk about, Coach, what would you say is the challenge of coaching kids in today's time, age, you know, with social media, all that stuff, and how recruiting is now, and you add in like NIL and how that's affecting, you know, all that type of stuff. So as opposed to maybe years like when you started out coaching, like talk about the difference.
Yeah, I don't think it's any different. So like kind of here's my philosophy in coaching: love, motivate, encourage, inspire, right? Love, motivate, encourage, inspire. And that's kind of how God has made us. And those things never change. Love, motivate, encourage, inspire. Build connections, build relationships, love your guys, all right, and they'll perform. And you're really trying to make them the very best that they possibly can be. Is social media crazy? Yeah, social media is crazy, but, you know, there's always something that's crazy. Social media actually makes it easier for coaches to get information out to other coaches. So a high school coach can now more easily get information out to college coaches and communicate. So social media can be used to our advantage. Do you have to talk to kids about it? I think there's a big misconception, like I need to market myself, my own brand. I need to do A, B, C, D, and E. And you know, at the end of the day, that doesn't help you get recruited at all. Right? It always goes back to this, right? Do you meet the measurables that colleges are looking for? And then do you produce on tape, right? And if you do those things, you're going to get recruited. So you can have the best social media presence on the face of the earth. If you can't perform, you're not getting recruited. So I think that is a cancer to our kids. They think they're a brand. They think they have to do this. They think they have to do this. But the worst part of it, Jaden, is parents are running the kids' social media. And but at the end of the day, it's measurables and performance, right? And you have to have those two things. And then as a coach, it always goes back to love, motivate, encourage, inspire, right? And then you do those things, and then you will have success, or you'll reach the full potential of success that you could possibly have where you're at.
Yeah, well said. I mean, yeah, because, you know, I guess it all depends on how you use it, right? Like, yeah, it can be used for an advantage. Definitely, it's easier now to get film out there and stuff as opposed to, back before social media became so popular. But if you use it the wrong way, like, for instance, how you always tell us, like, when we play other teams and their players would be talking on social media, right? Like, oh, y'all, we're going to kill you guys, this and that. You like, guys don't even engage, don't, right? So.
Well, this is what social media has done is the kids are friends. So, like, everybody's complaining about the NFL, how, like, the NFL guys, like, they exchange jerseys, they hug each other, they love on each other after the game. But most of the time, that's because through Twitter, through Instagram or Snapchat, whatever it is, whatever social media platform that person has, they know each other. In other ways, you would never know that person. So it's easy to hate that person. Oh, I can't stand that guy over there because, he's my opponent, right? Like, that's just what we do. Well, now, oh, man, like, we have relationships that can last through social media. Even if you aren't connected with the person and you haven't seen them, you can see what they're doing on social media. You can see their good deeds on social media, so you can have respect for that person. I guess also, you can also have a lot of smack talk going on through social media as well, right? So that always makes it entertaining. I think it was last week, it was the Detroit Lions DBs versus Baker Mayfield through social media, right? So, I don't really pay much attention to that, but, I don't really think there's anything new under the sun. People are going to find ways to smack talk. I don't care. It used to be over the phone. It probably used to be over letters. And who knows how they did it 4,000 years ago, but I'm sure they did it. So this makes it entertaining, so.
Yeah, it's entertaining. But it can also go way out of line, though, sometimes, too. So it's like you have to watch it. But it makes for a fun game, though. I just remember, like, all those times when we play those teams and they would, Instagram, whatever, and like just talking about us, and it's like, it's like, okay, cool.
Well, I'll give you a good example. Like, I didn't know that, I never know what's going on, because I don't pay attention to social media very much. Like, I have it, but don't really just scroll through and see what people are doing, because that's just making yourself frustrated. But we went to play Morgan County, right? Yeah. So right off the get-go, our kids are talking smack to their kids, and come to find out, like, the teams have been running their mouths to each other, right? And, of course, if we get beat, so I'm like, that's what you get, right? We're running our mouths. We're saying we're this and we're that, and, and we get beat. It's like, keep your mouth shut, let your play talk for itself. But, hey, listen, man. It's hard. Some of my best football players have been the biggest smack talkers, like, I don't know what to do about it, Jaden. So I try to tell them not to do it. They do it anyways.
So they can back it up, right?
Well, we didn't that night. We got beat.
Well, yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, it's different now. It's different now. So, like I said, it just depends on how, as long as the kids know, like, they're focused, and you go out there and you get the job done, you get a win. That's what matters, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, Coach. Also, I wanted to get your opinion on Nick Saban retiring. I want to know what you think about that. And it's because I didn't see it come. I'm an Alabama fan, Coach. So I was upset when I saw this news. Very upset because I love Nick Saban, but time came to an end. So.
No, I think it was a wise time for him to get out. First of all, he's the greatest, right? Nick Saban, he's the greatest. What he's done, I mean, what we've all as coaches learned from him, his process, his books, they've been integral in my growth as a football coach and my growth as a leader. And, so to see him retire, I thought it was just a great time to retire, right? So he wins the SEC, and man, he don't want to deal with this NIL mess. Here's the deal. Nick Saban learned the process. He learned the process to learn within the rules of what the NCAA had. He got his guys, he recruited well, he developed, and he had his process, and he built a machine. Well, now the process has changed. You have the NIL, you have the transfer portal. So now the coaches have to learn a new process, right? Now, there's no doubt in my mind that Nick Saban could master the process, right? But he's also 72 years old. And does he want to, and he's done, what more can Nick Saban do? Nothing. He can't do anything more. Win another championship? I mean, he's already won 6 or 7, however many he's won. So anyways, I feel like it was for him, there's no doubt in my mind he could keep going and he would win and probably win another national championship. But just his season of life, step back, rest, watch how college football unfolds. And I also think I'm hoping he'll write some more books, right? Give us some more information on how to coach and all that kind of stuff. So I look forward to probably listening to him on Saturday mornings talk about college football, right? So, you know, you have all the Stephen A. Smiths out there talking football. They don't know what they're talking about, you know? So, like, for them to be able to have Nick Saban maybe on the show, that's who I want to listen to. So I'm excited about stuff like that with Nick Saban. Get some really, really good football knowledge on the shows, and so we can watch him.
Yeah, for sure. He's no doubt the GOAT in college football. So, but what would you say? You say, like, you know, he inspire you with stuff. What would you say is the biggest thing that you learned from him that you take in coaching?
Well, I think it's this. I think any coach in the country would say the same thing. Obviously, I didn't get to work for Nick Saban, and a lot of people didn't. But from the outside looking in, and what we've read and about him and his books is his process. It's the day-to-day process. Like, if you focus on the result, you're never going to focus on today, right? So, man, his just mastering of developing kids each and every day, getting the most potential out of them, and that production. But there's a process, right? He doesn't start off January 1st getting ready for the 2023 football season, looking at the SEC championship. Yes, that's the goal, right? I'm sure they think about it, but it's like, that's the end game. But what do I need to do on January 1st, 2023 in order to get to that SEC championship game in December in 2023? And then they make value of every single day. And that's the process, right? And I think we all get distracted. We get distracted on the end result instead of what I must do today and mastering today in order to get that desired end result. I think Nick Saban was just able to lay that out for everybody, right? It's simple to say, but then there's been books about it. There's been Sports Illustrated articles about it. And for us to, like, touch that and feel that and understand it, that's what he's done for the game of football. I put him right there. I don't know if you've ever studied John Wooden, but John Wooden was a master. Won 10 national championships in basketball at UCLA. He was a master. He has great books. I put Nick Saban right there in that conversation with John Wooden for what coaches have learned you know.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely teaches us a lot of things. But yeah, Coach, that's awesome. So one last little thing here with NIL. What are your thoughts on that and how, like, it affects these kids? They're, like, coming out of high school to get ready to go to, you know, college and stuff and playing football at the collegiate level. Like, how it's, I want to say how it kind of, you know, you think it, like, sways the recruiting process, maybe taints it somewhat?
No. So here's what I believe. I believe in a free market, right? I believe in, you know, people getting whatever they can get. Okay. So that's what makes us a free country. So, and in economics, it's called supply and demand, right? So if somebody's willing to pay some 17-year-old kid who has not produced at the college level, if somebody's willing to pay, then, you know, more power to them, right? I mean, Jaden, I go to Chick-fil-A and I pay $5 for a chicken sandwich. Okay. Well, that's stupid, but millions do it, right? So we will pay money for a chicken sandwich. So somebody was smart enough to make the chicken sandwich because he knew there was a demand for people to make chicken sandwiches. Well, guess what? There's a demand for great college football players, and there's an alumni base of people who will pay these football players. Now, is it good for the player? Is it good for the kid? That's why you need parents, right? Parents need to help these kids. Parents need to help these kids manage their money. Parents need this. Parents need that. I need to, I woke up this morning and I looked at my son had downloaded 3 songs that he could have never downloaded, right? These songs are not songs that we're going to download in my house, but he did, right? So I have to go back and I have to fix that behavior, okay? If like, here's the deal. If my son's a 17-year-old kid in high school and somebody wants to pay him $1 million to play college football, we're taking the money. Now, I need to take that money, put it somewhere. I might spend it myself. I don't know. And I raised him. So, but I say that, Jaden, should the NCAA come up with rules regarding the NIL? Absolutely. Right? There's no rules. There needs to be a cap. There needs to be fair and equitable. Maybe Alabama spending more money than Georgia. Maybe Ohio State spending more money than. So just like the NFL, there's a salary cap. There needs to be a salary cap for Power 5 schools. You guys have $20 million you can spend on your roster. You can't go over that. You still have this amount of scholarships, and that makes the playing field even. Maybe it's 30 million, maybe it's 40 million. I don't know the number. But right now, the playing field is not even. Whoever's got the most money is going to get the best player, right? Why did Caleb Downs leave Alabama and go to Ohio State and not Georgia? Well, I bet I could be completely wrong, but I bet it's got everything to do with how much money Ohio State had to pay. Now, that's great for Caleb Downs, but if it's not fair in a competitive work environment. So that's my problem with the NIL. I believe in a free market. So in saying I believe in a free market, I can't say that a 17-year-old doesn't deserve that much money. Does a 14-year-old pop singer, is that what it's called? They get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They get paid. So if my 11-year-old son, somebody hand selects him to be in the movie, he would get paid to be in that movie. Supply and demand, economics.
Yeah, but the movie's different because I understand. No, I agree with you. These kids should be compensated for what they do. Because you're asking them to commit to you and your program and year-round, work and dedication. So I think they should be compensated, but still at the same time it should be managed. You're giving a 17-year-old kid millions of dollars, a brand new car. Come on,
Jaden. I don't listen. Yes, I don't think they deserve it. They've done nothing. They didn't do anything that I didn't do. They didn't do anything that you didn't do. They're just born faster and stronger, a God-given talent, right?
Yeah.
So they don't deserve it. If I'm being truthful in what I feel, you get a free college education, and when you go to these big schools, you have a tutor, you have this, you have basically your whole life is managed. So you're really getting about $100,000 to $150,000 worth of resources or whatever to you, and so that should be sufficient. That should be enough. However, the market says, this donor over here that's got $20 million in the bank, he's willing to put $50,000 to $100,000 a year into the collective, right? They call it a collective. It's not a collective. It's just a pot of money to pay college football players. I guess it is a collective. You're collecting money to pay. Should there be rules? All right. Well, I don't know. What if you started your podcast when you were in 9th grade, or let's say you started a YouTube channel when you were in 9th grade, and all of a sudden, boom, by the time you're in the 11th grade, you had 1 million followers on YouTube. Should YouTube not pay you?
No, they should.
Okay, so but that goes back to supply and demand. So there's a million people that are willing to watch you on your YouTube channel. All right. Well, there's 100,000 people that go to Georgia football games and want to watch what the best players play, and they're willing to pay. Supply and demand.
You're right. You're right. I'm just saying that, you know, some kids don't know how to handle that money.
I agree with you.
I would, but some kids don't, you know, so it's just like a matter of, you know, but
listen to this, how many of these, for the older people out there, like you look at Britney Spears and Jessica Simpson, and those are two, they were the star. When I was growing up, that's the two beautiful girls that sang. We all were in love with them, pop stars. Well, guess what? They got all that money, all that fame, and guess where they are now, Jaden? They're messed up. They're just messed up. That money ruined them. Okay, and the Bible tells us, the Bible is full of areas that speak to the deception and deceitfulness of chasing riches, right? And so the problem is like as you work your tail off, you get paid a little bit more, you get paid a little bit more, you get paid a little bit more. You learn how to manage your money. You know the value of money. The problem is when I get millions instantaneously, I don't understand the value of money. I don't understand how to be frugal with my money. So there's such danger with getting that money. In the short term, yeah, life is great. But in the long term, 9 times out of 10, it's bad. Did you know this? People that win, I read this statistic. People that win millions of dollars in the lottery, over 50% of them become alcoholics within 2 years afterwards. So, but the Bible speaks to the deceitfulness and the deception of riches. We're all chasing, right? I mean, I'd love to get Nick Saban's job, you know, like. But I don't know if I really want the job. I just want the $10 million he got. Right? Football. I don't care where you go. But we're chasing the next thing. Why are we chasing that next thing? Because we want to get paid. Most people.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy, but yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting tip. I didn't know that stat. I didn't know that. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's 80% of the guys that get out of the professional sports within 5 years, they're bankrupt.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, you think about it, man. I'm making $1 million a year. The government's going to take 500,000 of it, and that's the truth. So now you got 500,000 left. You think that's a lot, but you go and you buy a $150,000 car. You're $350,000 now. All right, now. Me and you, we go to Wendy's, right? We want a good meal, we go to Wendy's. We go to Burger King. We go to, hey, if we're really feeling special, we'll go to Chili's, right? And so, but Jaden, they grow up, so we might spend $30 on a meal, right? They when you get millions, you instantly start going to places, and there are places like this, Jaden, where it's $500 a meal, right? We're used, hey, on a good night, me and you, we'll go to Outback and buy a steak, right? And that costs us, that steak's $25. There's steaks out there, Jaden, that cost $300. And so you start to live that lifestyle, and then all of a sudden, your money's gone, right? Where'd it go? And so, I don't know. So there's, listen, that's why we talked about hard work, keep chopping. Lord, may you give me just a little bit more each year so I can learn to value my money. I can learn to value my time. I can learn to value my investment. And then hopefully as we grow older, we grow in wisdom with money, with relationships, all that kind of stuff. So I still would like to just get $10 million.
But yeah, Coach, you're right. So very interesting insight there. But Coach, thank you for joining us on the show today. You know, coming back on, we appreciate it as always, and you know, hope you guys have a great off season, and and great season next year too. It'll be here before you know it. So,
absolutely. All right, man. Keep doing great things. Love you, man.
You too, Coach.